Hello, hello. This is Yuri of Moving Sales Professionals and Let's Talk Moving podcast. And with me today, I have Jason Tereska with It's Your Move Tallahassee in business since 2019. How you doing today, Jason?
I'm good, Yuri. Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Thank you so much for joining us. So, Jason, how did you get started in the moving industry?
That was back in the mid to late 2000s when there was that economic downturn. Everyone was out of work. My uncle showed up with a semi truck and asked me if I wanted to get off my ass and make some money, and I said yes. And here we are today. I thought it was just going to be a summer job, but it just kept falling into opportunities, so just kept it moving.
Yeah, it's funny how I always find talking to moving companies or anybody that's affiliated with the moving industry, it's either one of the two. You also either stumble it into it accidentally, or you're like a career 30-year mover. There's like generally nothing in between, it's just like it's usually one or the other. So that's the interesting part. So so you've been you're running your company since 2018. So to you, what are the three most important things that a moving company owner should be focused in order to build a successful company?
That's a good question. I'm discovering that myself. I would say probably one of the first things is to get out of the day to day as quickly as you can, so you can run some higher level type stuff. I've been trying to get out of the day to day for pretty much this whole time. So it's one of the things that I realized that I can't be pulled in two separate directions. Somebody needs me in the field, and I'm working on trying to grow my business. I have to sacrifice one or the other. So and that's probably the first thing. I guess I would say the second is to make sure that your guys, your crew is well trained. They're a good bunch of guys. I know that this industry is big on second chances, and a lot of guys that we have are on their second chance. But if you can find the ones that have some integrity, that can be accountable, though, and loyal too. You want to make sure that the customer is being taken care of for sure.
And now for a word from our sponsors. If you're a moving business owner, you may have already heard of Moversville, an email marketing service that helps moving companies increase, repeat, and referral business. But have you heard of Moversville Connect? Moversville Connect is an incredible resource for all things moving. They feature an array of vendors and services that cater specifically to the moving industry. You can find companies that provide moving software, moving sales services, marketing services, moving equipment providers, and much, much more. Visit moversville.com today to learn more.
I'd say probably I guess for me, the third thing is just making sure that you have a good network. Try to find a niche in your own market. For us, it's senior living facilities and stuff like that. So just building up a I guess a network of people in that market that you want to kind of penetrate to get into, and take care of them. And in my experience, if you take care of the people that are referring you work, they'll bend over backwards to help you out.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, for me, it's a little different. I think I made a mistake a few years ago of getting off the phone for a couple of months, and that was a big mistake. And
Mhm.
realistically, I think it's very different when your business is sales, when your business is calling, getting out of it even for a short amount of time. For me, it's not about control, and I'm able to stay on the phone and still be able to do everything that I need to do to help the business grow, like having this podcast, etc. Right? But
Mhm.
I think that for a call center for moving industry, it's different than for moving company itself. Moving company itself, the sooner you get off the truck, the sooner you can start doing things for your business that maybe you first of all you wouldn't have had time to do because you're there out in the field all the time, right? And second of all, you can actually having been in the field, you can come up with unique ways to make that whole scenario better, work with more people, find interesting ways basically to differentiate your business, which is of course important. With sales and with the call center, I think the reason why we do as well as we do, and frankly, we're not as big as our competitors, but I believe that we're better than them. And part of it, I think, is the fact that I am still on the phone. And part of the fact is that my sales reps can see what I'm doing and they aspire to beat me. Frankly, every month they want to do better than I do. Some days they manage, some days they don't. Most of the time they don't, but I like to egg them on anyway. And I think that that creates a healthy competition, first of all. And second of all, when they see that the owner is not just saying you got to do this and you got to do that, right? When they see that the owner actually gets on the phone and turns whatever he says into reality, I think that that's a very big piece for the sales part, especially because I can hear the same objections that they face. I can hear the same problems that they face booking jobs or dealing with sometimes movers on the day of the move that are not doing what they're supposed to do. It's like it's having that clear understanding and having faced it yourself allows you to solve those situations when they arise quicker for them or teach them how to handle those situations easier because you've done it yourself and you know the difficulties that come with it.
Does your company need more creative marketing and ad campaigns to improve traffic and organic leads? Well, Moving Sales Professionals has a solution for you. We have partnered with social media marketing agency that has over 300 million views on their ads and videos across social media, and they have generated over $35 million for their clients over the last 10 years alone. Their services include content creation, social media ads, pay-per-click campaigns, website and funnel development, Google Ads, email marketing campaigns, lead generation, and much, much more. For a limited time only, they have discounted rates for their services. Sign up for a free consultation call with us via our Calendly link on our website or below this video.
I think that that part I found that I need, and I think, I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not sure. I don't know the owner of Lions Den that well, but as far as the other guys that I do know, they generally stay out of things versus me, and I'm still on the phone with the guys. But anyway, getting back to what we were saying. So, what do you think is different that makes you, like you said, you do some senior living and stuff like that, but is there something that you feel that's truly unique in what you do versus your competitors versus some of the other people in the business or in Florida where you are?
Yeah, actually, my mentor, Matt Roberts, he's been with me for a couple years now. He's got like 45 years in the game. He's been a wealth of knowledge and information for me.
Sure.
And I feel really blessed to have him in my corner. But he had an idea that we've kind of pilot ran and found so much success in it that we just kind of made it part of our kind of part of our service list, and we call it pre-prep. And that's where either myself, lead driver, maybe Matt himself will come visit the customer a day or two before their move and start to maybe pad wrap a dresser, kind of consolidate some of their boxes, just get everything ready for the movers the next day. The beautiful thing about it is that we get to see the move the day before. So if there's any questions, concerns that the customer has, we can address those right away. We also get a look at the move to see how accurate the inventory is, and we can have
Sure.
that discussion whether or not we need to add anything, add any services, add any cost, or anything like that. We typically, when we do pre-prep for our hourly customers, we typically convert that into a flat rate. So the customer's not worried about, the clock or whatnot. That gives us a little more freedom and flexibility with crew size and crew complement to get the job done. So a lot of the customer feedback that we've had has been uh, glowingly positive. I think the mental aspect of it, seeing some of your furniture already pad wrapped and ready to go, you don't have to worry about the movers not showing up the next day. So a lot of really good feedback from customers, and we've even had some referrals ask for it. Hey, Sally had pre-prep. She said it was great. Can I have that too? Of course, of course. And the cost of the company is, I thought it was going to be a lot, but it's really not that much. And if you kind of pad the estimate a little bit, with like say $100, because we're not there for the whole day. We're there for like 30 minutes. You know what I mean? It's more just kind of, just get a couple things, pad wrap, make sure the customer is fine, we get to see the move. Another thing that we do, just want this one last thing, is if we have new movers, we bring them to the pre-prep so we can kind of do some on the job training, but in a controlled environment still,
Sure.
so we're not just at the warehouse, just wrapping up a bunch of old furniture that we got laying around. So we've seen it help and help us anyway. So I don't know if anybody else can make it work, but it really works for us.
No, that's great. That's interesting. That is unique. It's not something that I've heard of being mentioned before. So it's cool that you have something like that. I could see how that would lead to additional comfort from the customer. It makes y- everybody always says that the moving is one of the most stressful things in life. So like it's like a preemptive strike against that almost, right? You come in, you're just there, you're there for 30 minutes, but that 30 minutes is enough to make them feel like they know you or they know the company, and it creates already, the next day when you come in, it's not going to be as stressful because technically they're not meeting you for the first time.
Right, exactly. And the crews that come in to move the pre-prep job, they all love it because they can start, they can kind of hit the ground running, so to speak. You know what I mean? And it almost always comes in under the estimate time wise. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
and which is especially good if you convert it to a flat rate. Then you're winning either way. But you're exactly right. There's a lot of peace of mind for the customer. And early on in my career, I worked for a crook. Was my first company that I ever worked for. The guy was just straight up robbing people, and I could just see all the stress on my customers' faces. And obviously, they don't see the sales team, they see me, so they're complaining to me all the time, and it sucks. And I was just like, well, I asked them for feedback, and their feedback was just be upfront with me and tell me what time it is. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm. Sure.
um, so when I started my business, I just was upfront with everybody, told them what time it is, and we've been. Of course, you got customers that complain, and you get claims and this, that, and the other.
I,
But
I don't think no matter what business you're in, you're always going to have that, and you're always going to get those type of people that are constantly looking for,
like a
they're
come
looking
up,
to get a fast one on you, and it's just like,
yeah.
it's interesting because what I always found, it's like, look, some of the movers, we all know this, are not the
Mhm,
brightest guys out there.
mhm.
But if something hits the fan, they're not dealing with the not brightest guys out there. They're dealing with the office. And if
Right,
they're
right,
dealing with the
exactly.
office, they're dealing mainly with people that have been there, saw that, and know when you're trying to pull one on them.
Hmm. Absolutely, yeah, yeah. Matt can spot him a mile away. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it comes with time, it comes with knowledge. You already know. There's just certain tells in the conversation that you're having, and you almost when you get people like that, you start padding things because
Mhm,
you're already expecting that things are going to hit, and you're already saying certain things that maybe you wouldn't have said otherwise
mhm.
and see what the reaction is. And then especially when the call is being recorded, you can always go back to that later and say, well, I did tell you this. And well, I did tell you that. The fact that you didn't ignore it, that's another thing, but something was said to protect the company.
Right. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And we're real. We disclose as much as we can on the phone. Obviously, there's people watching this, their moving policy or their contracts might be 5-10 pages or whatever. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So of course the customer's not going to read that unless they're a lawyer or a paralegal or something. But
yeah,
you don't have in a phone call, you don't have enough time to run through all that. So you almost have to trust that they're going to read it when you send it with your estimate. We send all of our documents with them. We have them sign obviously the estimate and the moving policy, which has all of that stuff, and we keep telling them to review these documents because they're important. And I honestly believe that probably half our customers don't even realize that moving is a contractual service, which
right.
sometimes it's like, oh, this is a contract, and I'm just like, well, yeah, it is actually. I've been
Yeah,
trying to tell you guys that for I don't know the past 2 weeks trying to book this job. So,
right.
um, but yeah, it's you get all kinds out there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, uh, Jason, what are your goals for 2026? Obviously, we're heading into the season here.
Mhm.
Uh, what are your goals?
Well, right now we currently have a small two truck operation. So our goal is to consistently run four for the summer. That's one goal. The second goal is to book a contract or a job over $100,000, which we just got confirmation yesterday on a job that we're going to start at the end of June. That's valued at about 113,000. So
Nice.
that's pretty good. Yeah, I was really excited about it, and it's going to do a lot for obviously with revenue and year over year stuff. But I think the biggest thing, the biggest goal, is to we're wildly inefficient right now, and just to increase the efficiency and that kind of
Wow.
stuff.
You got one of our girls helping you with that. So
That's right. That's right. That's
and
right.
she,
But
and she hates inefficiency if you haven't figured it out that out yet.
oh no, I figured it out probably within the first week. But there's
Yeah,
just so
she's
much.
allergic to it. So yeah,
Yeah, and there's so
absolutely.
much inefficiency in our dispatch process too that we've been trying to work on during the off season. But
Yeah,
you know,
it's
it's just sometimes it's just difficult. You try to tell the guys, be more efficient, and when they hear efficient, they hear get the job done sooner, and they're going to make less money. Obviously, they're making hourly, but it's to me, it's about doing the most
It's not,
while
yeah, it's
extending
not
the
so
least
much
amount of energy.
sooner. It's more you want to get it done in a specific way. Yeah, it might
Mhm.
finish up faster, but at the same time, if you do it efficiently, you're also gonna spend less energy on it.
And that's what we try to tell them too, because they come back and they're complain about how hard this job was, and I'm just like, well, how did you do it? And like for instance, if they're on stairs or whatever, it's like, oh, we had to run all this stuff down the stairs, and I'm just like, we showed you how to use a slide, to slide boxes and small furniture down. So why aren't you doing that? Or oh man, we had to run all this stuff up the stairs. Well, you got like three or four guys there. Why don't you just pass up the small stuff and save your legs for the big stuff? And it's just some guys get it, some guys don't. But you know how it is, man. When the cat's away, the mice will play. So once they leave the warehouse, it's we pretty much have to trust them to to take care of themselves. I mean, the efficiency is taking care of your body. So
Yeah.
but we got about half the crews on it. Still working on the other half. It's a never ending battle, of course.
Yeah, but it's a process. You got to get into. I mean, once you're running like a well-oiled machine, that's when you can maybe step up away a little bit more than you would have
Mhm.
otherwise. Maybe take an extra vacation, which the wife and the family will appreciate and what have you.
Vacation.
You
What's
know,
that?
right? Yeah. So it's
Never heard
like
of that
that's
before.
something that we got to do because ultimately, that's what we do as much work as we do. That's why we spend as much time as we spend doing things. But you want to get to a point where work-life balance exists.
Mhm.
It
Yep.
takes time to get there, that's for sure.
It does. It does. Hopefully soon. I'll
Yep,
get
hopefully soon.
there.
Well, Jason, once again, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate all the information. We'll make sure we put a link for the company and everything else in this podcast. And like we say, the world moves on its own, so let the professionals move yours for you. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll talk again soon.